My name is Roel Wouters.
My name is Luna Maurer.
And together we run a studio called Moniker in Amsterdam.
And we have a wonderful team with Thomas, Jolana,
Grisha, Jay and Alex.
And I've been working for quite a while now on a project called Touch for Luck. It's a commission from M+, the new museum in Hong Kong with an enormous facade.
And on this facade we made this participatory walk where everybody can log in on the URL touchforluck.com and participate.
And plus, as they have a new building with an incredible big facade, contacted us with a commission for making a work for this incredible big facade. They wanted us to make something where also the audience, especially from Hong Kong, can participate and be part of the experience of the work and therefore be also represented in the city of Hong Kong. We would like to thank M+ very, very much. Instead of only sitting down at your table and think about what we could do, we were invited by M+ to Hong Kong and we called it the Discovery Workshop. So we went through the city, we met a lot of people at the museum and we had many talks. We understood a lot how things work there, but we looked also at very simple things, how people sit in the metro and behave in the city. So these were also in the end the intriguing moments that we picked up for the concept that we developed in the end. What we wanted is that we in fact could use the mobile phone as a controller for the big screen, the facade.
And the idea is that at the moment you put your finger on the mobile phone, on the specific website called touchforluck.com, a little fish swims into your screen. And simultaneously, this same fish is swimming into the big aquarium, it's called, like on the facade. There will be a lot of other fish swimming around, and all these fish are controlled by other people that are simultaneously, together with you, swimming around in this aquarium on the facade.
A very important aspect of this work is that you have to touch your phone screen. You're not supposed to let go of your finger. And if you touch it for almost 3 hours, then you get basically to the end of the game. In order to make it more seductive, that you keep on touching your screen, we introduced levels. And these levels, they are relating to mechanics that we know so well from our online culture, make you addicted to your phone screen.
In the beginning you're this fish without any decoration, you're green and you're very, let's say, a noob. You're new to this digital environment. And we know from our digital lives that most often the more you invest in a specific platform or environment, the more you grow, the more capital you gain. So the longer you swim around, the more you get decorated with all kinds of achievements, charms we call them. And these charms, they relate to our relationship with our screen. So they thematize things like following, they thematize things like incognito, all kinds of concepts that basically are inherent to our digital lives.
It starts with getting a thumb up, so you feel good. Then you can start having friends. You can count your friends. At one point you get a booster and you get, with every contact, you get extra 10 virtual friends. So we use all kinds of ideas that we are familiar with and you get more and more powerful until the end where you are part of the elite.
We try to create a character that you can connect with and that you want to keep going and keep collecting more charms and evolving your fish. The character of the fish was clear from the beginning because it has a symbolic meaning in Asian culture. In the beginning we explored different design ideas with limbs and more complex fish shapes, but at the end we decided to use very simple shape but with the seductive movement. So on top of the fish you can earn different kinds of charms, which we had different design directions, and at the end we landed on pixelized design because it reflects the fact that it's a digital fish. The pixelized design that we choose at the end also very well works with the M+ facade because of its low resolution.
The main challenge while developing this project was getting the movement right of the fish. We want to create a nice, snappy feeling to the user on the phone, but because the big part of this project is also the screen on the facade, it also had to look good in a big open space. So that's what we spend a lot of time on developing and getting it right.
What is nice about Touch for Luck, that is also a collaborative work. We hope that creates also a feeling of unity. You're together there on the facade. You can meet each other. And you can swim together, and you can even steal each other's records.
The facade showcases the whole pond of all the players, and to keep this interesting over like a long period of time, we introduce a lot of different camera positions and follow fish around the screen.
When making a participatory artwork, you have to consider very well with the tools that you design what the input is that participants can bring. In our case, we wanted to avoid also that something needs to get moderated. So we're really happy that we found a way of creating a collaborative work just by your presence, just by seeing all your little fish bodies on the screen and the experience that you have together.
A big technical challenge was to accommodate not only a little amount of users, but also the event that we might go viral and have to accommodate for lots of users. So we spent a lot of time in thinking about what will happen if thousands of users would show up, and we then divide the aquarium up in multiple spaces where a maximum of 200 people can come together.
Yeah, to test the system, we built a small machine with some fake fingers to simulate the touch of the fingers for about 3 hours, so we don't have to put our fingers there themselves.
One of the challenges is that on a project like this, that designers always want more features and more eye candy and more effects, and as a developer you have to try to control that and keep it maintainable and organize the code well. I don't know what my worries were. I had a lot of worries. My main worry is that we had too many features.
So this work refers to a situation we're in where we use, especially with the pandemic, screens all the time. We are online all the time. We use our phones more than ever. And this development is something that's part of everybody's daily lives. And we try to reflect also a little bit on this development, that we are so much hooked and that the big technological companies make it for us even more seductive, and that we, with all little triggers, that we're even more hooked.
Somehow, as humanity, we came to the point that we think that our screen brings us lots of luck. It basically is the centerpiece of our lives. And sometimes we like to question this and think about, is this really the case? Is this really this important relationship we have with our screens? And with this project, we somehow like to critically reflect on that a bit. So we say the longer you touch, the more lucky you are. We basically want our audience to also question that. I think, do I agree with that? Or maybe do I want to be a little bit less on the screen? Or actually, what is my relationship with my screens around me? We are very curious to see whether this limit of only having your finger on the screen somehow is able to create a social space where people really have the feeling of a collaborative experience. In Touch for Luck, there's no humor at all. It is a completely serious experience with only fish in an aquarium.